going to give you a rundown of the tools that I use. They might not be the same tools you choose to use, but that's fine. I'm just going to give you a shorty here. So, stubby flathead is going to take off the PCV on top of the valve cover to get it out. 1/4 inch drive. We've got a 5/16 for the air inlet clamps. I have an 8 short and an 8 long. That's going to be for the hold down for the injector. I have an 11 on a long extension. That is for the intercooler clamps. I've got a 10. This is for the wiring harness on the driver's side, and the 13 is for the valve cover. Now I'm going to break them loose with the 3/8 drive, 13 deep and shallow combination, because some of them in the back you can get a long on, some in the side you have to get a short. The original oil galley plug would be 1/8 Allen wrench. Mine have stripped out, so a lot of people do this. I don't know, I guess. They pound in a star, a hex. They call this a Torx. Pound that in, so that's what mine take now. To pull out the injectors, I just use some small pry bars here. Again, you might buy the actual puller. I did not. That's a brief history of what I use. Might help you out. Alright, to speed up the video, I've loosened up a little bit of this just so I can get through it quicker. I've got a job to do. I don't want to be filming everything I do. My airbox, the aftermarket. So this comes off. Filter comes out. Well, if I can get it with the hand. This tube comes out of here. Slides right into my airbox. Actually, you can take it right out if you want, but okay, you've got two 10mm bolts right here. That holds this piece on. Then obviously there's a 5/16 down there further. You can't see it. It's by the turbo. And this just comes off. Oh, pull my line out of here. And there you go. This piece comes off. So now I've got a pile of crap that I've got to put away before I continue this video. Next, we're going to take out your intercooler, and valve cover comes off. Alright, the intercooler line. You've got two 11s up there, and you've got one, if you follow it, right down there. That's where this comes in handy. I've positioned them so that I can get them easily from up top. So we're going to loosen this up, and I'll show you how to pull this pipe out. So I found out the hard way that it's easiest to pull, the furthest clamp off, and it opens up all of that room because you're going to be working right in there. So leave this boot on the pipe, and the same goes with here. We're leaving this boot in here. Just undo the clamp by here. This pipe is simply going to slide back. Tough doing it with one hand. It's going to come right up and out. And now you should be accessing that right there. Alright, I just realized that I told you it was a stubby flathead, and it's not. It's a stubby Phillips. This is going to take off your, whatever you want to call it, PCV, oil baffle. It serves the same purpose. So I'm going to shut this video off while I take this out. This is worth mentioning. If you soak this in mineral spirits or clean it up in a solvent tank, you're going to mess that seal up, and you're going to mess, hold on, that seal up. And I know this because I did it. So that kit can be ordered online. It's pretty cheap, and even if you don't need it, you might as well replace it while you got this apart. Here's your 10mm, and then you separate this electrical connection. Alright, for the valve cover hold downs, you've got two nuts on studs here and over here. You can just use a shallow for those, and a shallow for all the rest of them, except for the back. That's going to be a deep. And then your deep well is going to remove these studs and the one in the back. So I don't want to move this around any more than I have to. That's your main wiring harness to signal the injectors to fire. So all I did is I took a piece of baling wire, hooked it on here, hooked it to whatever I can get, just to hold it up out of the way. There's no pressure on this. It's relatively loose. And then we can go ahead and unhook this, which is our valve cover gasket with the injector harness in it. All right, with your valve cover removed, you can see your injectors. Here's the plug that goes into them. It's just a little wire that comes off of here. Well, I can't do it with one hand. Each one of them has it. And then that's gonna plug, those all go to this plug, goes to that plug, goes to your main harness. So you don't wanna mess any of these up. What I'm looking for right now is to see if any of these are loose. This is your hold down bolt. And it's been said online that after you do them, people have them coming loose. So I've got to check the other side to see if everything's tight and functioning, and then I'll troubleshoot it from there. Alright, so just like the other side, we've got two clamps here. I'm going to take off the inside one, leave the boot on the pipe, and I know you can't see it, but that is the accessible one, but we're not going to take that off because you have to slide the pipe out through everything. We're going to go down here to a pain in the butt location right there, if you can see it. That will leave the end of the pipe less restricted to pull through all of this wire loom. All right, clamps are loose. Let's see if I can get this. Next, we're going to take care of these heater hoses. The first one that leads up by the water pump, we're just going to stick it over top of this for now. Off camera, I'm going to get some zip ties or something and hold it back. This one can come up and over, and I usually just put it over top of this bolt right here, and it stays pretty good. Now you're going to do the same thing you did on the other side. You're going to unhook this. Now to access your studs, you're going to pull these off. These should just pull right up and out. That is what holds your heater hoses. Now you can access, same as the other side, two studs. The rest are just hex bolts. Don't know if you can see it right here. There's a stud. That stud holds down this, so you gotta take the nut off first. Move this out of the way. I usually just connect this wire. There's a little, what do you call this? Wire loom clamp, whatever you call it. Pop the wire out of it. Move this out of the way. Take the stud off. All right, when you get down to this point, there's a little tab right here that releases the connector, the pigtail, whatever you want to call it. And then you slide this down. Now your injector's unplugged. Do it back here again. Pop it off. Push it down. Alright, now you've got your glow plugs. So what we're going to do is use some needle nose pliers. Alright, get down in here. You can probably do it with your fingers, but I don't want to put strain on the wire and have a chance of it breaking. So get down here real close, if I can get on it, and pull it up. Well, this isn't working for me. There we go. You know, because they're down in there pretty good. With your injector pigtails pushed down or out of the way, then you can wiggle your valve cover gasket out. And again, I'm trying to do this with one hand and it's not working, so I'm going to put this down and I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. Alright, since I had an injector failure, I'm going to go through and I'm going to look at all these harnesses to see if there's anything that's broken or anything that's frayed, been pinched, anything like that. But this is what your gasket looks like out of the vehicle. And now you've got your injectors ready to go. So I'll come back and I'm going to do this off camera. We're going to loosen up the bolt down here that you can't see. It should be at 8mm. And make sure that this housing comes up and is free, and then we're going to pop the injector out. When it comes to replacing your injectors, This is just me talking. I've learned it the hard way from buying cheap injectors. Alliant is one of the brands that manufactured injectors for Ford. So these are rebuilt by Alliant. So I trust these as much as I trust any OEM injector. I've done this job a couple of times because I cheaped out and I got bad injectors. Take my word for it or not, you'll be doing the job 2 or even 3 times.